Any questions? You understand when we have a Supreme Court with 8 people, basically 4 and 4, we no longer have a decision of what the law is for the United States because it's been split, and so the lower court decision stays intact. And that's affected things like with Hobby Lobby about women employees making sure that the health insurance their employer provides covers contraception. There's a lot of things that dramatically affect our population that a split court is not going to deal with.
Once the president nominates that nominee, his job is to turn in something called a blue slip that says, I approve of this individual. And then his job is to tell his fellow Senate Majority Leader, please hold a hearing and a vote so we can make sure this person gets confirmed. He has done none of this, and he has not been very proactive. He has not shown up to any of the votes or any of the meetings for the Judiciary Committee or the Senate on judicial nominations at all in the last year. And Nelson has been good about recommending and turning in his blue slips on time and working with the president, but Rubio has been pretty absent.
Is that just because
The question is if Senator Rubio is doing this deliberately. I can't read his mind, but we have seen this with so many issues we care about, even Zika and everything else, that climate change. He has just been absent and very, I guess the word is stubborn on his stance and not very proactive.
I think what I would like to suggest is that if you see the senators campaigning, this should be a question you should ask them. I think some of it's because the public isn't reacting to what's happening. Coming from Vermont, where the former chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee very often had to move on people he personally might not have endorsed for the Supreme Court, he did not hold up the consideration by the Senate.
So the question is, what happens to Obama's Supreme Court nominee if Hillary Clinton gets elected? So we don't know. She might renominate Garland. She might not. So once she is sworn in, then she has to renominate or nominate someone else. But our hope and our guess is that if she wins during the lame duck between November and January, the Senate will probably confirm him because they will want to avoid her maybe choosing someone more progressive. Article 2, Section 2 of the Constitution says that the Senate must advise and consent the president's nominee. So that's the problem. Is there are different interpretations of what advise and consent means. Some of us believe that means you should at least consider them and have a hearing and hold a vote. Whether you vote up or down is up to you. And the right side is saying that advise and consent to them means that they can advise against holding a vote because they think we should wait till after the election because it's an election year. Of course, there is no rule out there that says you cannot confirm judges in an election year. So the question was if we can put Rubio in comparison with other senators in the state. Yes. So we are seeing this with a lot of Republican senators, to be honest. It's not a party issue. But for example, in Pennsylvania, we have Senator Toomey, who is also similarly been very slow, not as slow, but very slow at turning in his blue slip and being proactive. We have Senator Grassley, who's the Judiciary Chair Committee, the Judiciary Committee chair, and he is supposed to hold the hearings for all these nominees. He has not, and I think there's over 90 to 100 vacancies throughout the country, and Obama has nominated folks for at least half, and they're just sitting in Grassley's committee, so that he has single-handedly blocked a lot of that. So Rubio's not alone in this obstruction, and the Why Courts Matter campaign is in 11 different states right now, including Iowa and Pennsylvania, Texas. Texas has 13 vacancies in comparison to what your 6 are. So we are there are 11 different states, and Florida is one of our key ones, and it's because you guys are a swing state, and the next president will choose possibly up to 4 Supreme Court judges, and will change the court for lifetime. So she's asking if any of the Florida nominees will be considered before the election. I don't think so, is going to be my answer. Right now, the ones that they are considering are the ones that they care about the most. So, for example, a couple of the Texas nominees just went through and are being pushed through the system because Senators Cornyn and Cruz are the senators from that state. Obvious reasons, they want their nominees to go through. But I haven't heard anything about Florida's. So we need to push them to do that, and we need to make Rubio make it a priority, just like Cornyn and Cruz are in Texas, to make Grassley and McConnell do their job. Please sign up with Nancy or Linda from NCJW. Where's Linda? Linda, there you are, of course. Linda or Progress Florida, any of our partners that have been working on this issue, and just get involved. There will be petitions that we will be emailing out. There will be events that we want you to attend. If you yourself can hold an event that really just lifts this issue up, call in to your senators, text your senators, tweet at your senators, email your senators, and really just push for this issue in every way you can. And then educate the public, because again, Americans don't talk about the courts enough. So just talk to your friends and talk to your family and make sure that the courts are on everyone's mind come November.
Before you leave this building or the parking lot, would you please contact, or at least make a list in your mind of contacting 5 people who are willing to call Rubio's office and say that you want a Supreme Court justice at least to be considered on the floor of the Senate?